Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Doggone it. Sunday night. So I might as well get this channel cracking. Oh, yeah. Y'all want to pull up, have a seat, have a drink, do whatever you feel comfortable most with. But today isn't just my thoughts out there, y'all. I'm giving you my thoughts, and I want an understanding why. If you feel like you want to come up and join the chat, I will drop the link. Just let me know. But it's going to be one of those, not preaching sermons, but just something to talk about on YouTube, things going on YouTube. Might have been some things that I haven't seen or heard, but there's going to be a lot of me giving my opinion about things that I have heard on YouTube. Good evening, Miguel. Y'all, that's my moderator, Mr. Miguel Wallace. Been with me from day one. Sunday night. Daylight savings time. Oh, yeah, we're going to stop that music and we're going to get right into it. Good evening, everyone. Those up in the clouds, those that may drop down later on. As you know, AKA also known as DJ Will. I came on tonight for just my thoughts. As you can see, it's an open panel on YouTube for understanding. Understanding what? That's my thoughts for tonight. What should I have to understand on YouTube? What do I need to say to people on YouTube to let them realize that all people don't think alike? Um, since I've been on YouTube, there's a lot of things have happened with me and other content creators and other people on here. But I want to say, hey, I haven't given up hope in humanity and what man stands for and what the woman stands for. Yeah, it's a little bit old fashioned. It's the modern day era. But when I see young people, I mean, when I say young, to me, 50 and under is young. 50 and under is young. And when you try to tear down instead of build up, that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm talking about, especially with the Black generation. Everybody wants to mingle in and bring people in. And we have to realize as Black people, we were never treated the same. We were never brought up the same. And the laws don't apply to everything that we do, no matter if you're a man or a Black woman, straight, bi, gay. When you're Black, the laws don't apply to all of you, including myself. But I do want to say is that there are some people out there, Black people, young Black people, that are entrepreneurs that want to have something in life and want to do things in life. But what do we commonly hear about? We hear about all the drama, all the murder, all the madness going on. Now, let me say for myself, I'm not going to join into the upscale modern day era where I'll be dropping little backgrounds and scenes about things or people doing stuff. It's the old fashioned way of trying to have conversation and talk about things on YouTube, things that some people may not like, some things that people may like. But above all, if you want to talk about health, we can talk about that. We can talk about wealth. We can talk about anything, but I people, strongly suggesting on this platform, please don't dox. Please don't try to bring up a person's real name because you done went out there, paid your little whatever money to dox a person and then try to come up and shame them when they have an opinion. Because that's what we do as Black folks. When a Black person has an opinion, they try to shame them. They try to ridicule them by what? Doxing. And let me tell you, y'all, there's something I found out about doxing. That shit is going to change. There's laws on the books, federal laws. I'm not talking about state laws. I'm talking about federal laws that is going to change the whole course of YouTube, the way we do things here on YouTube. Even with that AI bullcrap coming in, there's a lot of laws that are going to be up there. And even YouTube is going to do things because you not now you know that now you can get a strike on your page for messing around on your community board. Okay, there have been people that gotten in trouble about posting stuff on their community board, even though they didn't have to say a word. So when it comes to stuff on YouTube, we better be careful about what we do and what we say because no matter where we're at, this YouTube thing is worldwide and it goes a long way. And the feds will come after you. It's just like we don't understand the laws about marijuana. Yeah, it's passed the laws in states, but the federal government hasn't made it an official law to where marijuana is legal. It's legal in states, but there are federal authorities that when they arrest you, it's a crime. It's a crime for a Fed to arrest you on a marijuana charge. That's why you see so many officers from the regular police force, state police, DEA, uh, drug enforcement agencies, FBI officers, when they raid places now, they have a conglomerate of law enforcement there and they check the laws and they look over it. Right now, gun laws are more federal than they are state. You can have state charges on a gun and then it'll turn around, the feds will come pick you up on the same thing and you get double time, more time. Those things that we don't think about, far as laws are concerned with black folks. Wow. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is study your laws, people. Study things that you can and can't really do. And be very cognizant. Read your YouTube things and what they're telling you they're changing. There used to be a time when we needed 1,000 people on here to have a community board, even a community, period. But that's changed. I just want to say that no matter what goes on or how life carries you, trust in yourself. You don't trust nobody else. Trust yourself. I would like to hear more. Pam, how are you doing, my dear viewers of you? 2300J, I hope you will listen to this, and I want to say my best wishes to you. I started out on this beef sector. I know quite a few people, and I became friends with them. And yeah, we had our jokes, and then we also had our serious sides of life. But to all the people on YouTube right now that are part of my family, as they want to call it, the beefing sector, I tried not to really beef with people, but if it's necessary, deemed necessary now, I will beef in a decent and a mannerable way. I'm not going to be up here trying to, and I hope you guys don't do it, call each other a bunch of bitches and hoes, but I know old habits are hard to break. Just like the N word, it's hard to break. And let's talk about that. There was a discussion about the N word. Does it make it right that somebody else from another race uses or calls us the N word? My strong and true feelings and belief behind that is it doesn't make it right. I don't care if you're married to a person of a different nationality or race. I don't care if you're friends with somebody and y'all been friends for years and years. It doesn't make it right to use that N word. But we use it. Why? Because it became so commonplace throughout throughout the years of music. Now we hear it on TV more often. We see it in the movies. That word is not a term of endearment. It never has been a term of endearment. It's been degrading. It's been something that white people, and let's face it, folks, they're racist in the country. They're still racist. Like I said, they've taken off the sheets and hoods and put on suits now. They're still racist in the world. I was raised when it was really, really bad. A lot of you guys on here listen to me. You don't know about it. You hear about it, but you read about it, but you don't really study it. And until you experience it, then you can't really say, hey, I know what it's like. I know what it's like being told to get to the back of the bus. I know what it's like being told that I couldn't drink out the same water fountain. I know what it was told like to just don't come around, be around us. I went to a predominantly mixed school, but it was in a town called St. Anne, Illinois. There were a lot of white people there, predominantly white, up until I would say 1979. Mind you, I was always doing things, raised in the country. There were a lot of black people in the area. I was raised in one of the poorest areas there is right now in the United States, a place called Hopkins Park, Illinois. If you guys go look up Hopkins Park, you will see what it's like now. You can see what it like in its heyday. But we were poor. Yeah, the area was poor, but it was rich with people that were neighbors. When things happened to one another, we were there for one another. Uh, Even if you needed rent paid, we had what we call rent parties, card parties. Not only that, the kids played together. They weren't like kids that are today sit up in the house playing their games or on their phones or on their computer or laptop or even sitting inside listening to mom and daddy or company while they're having a grown folks conversation. Know what I mean? There's not too many people that can say, my mom and daddy said outside, this ain't for you. We let our kids hear us on these YouTube streets, cussing one another out, calling each other bitches and hoes. And then when our kid says it and it's heard on YouTube, then we want to ostracize a person for letting that child say that crap. When all actuality, they really shouldn't be around their children when they're having so-called, once again, grown folks conversations. Uh, my thought on YouTube today is that there are content creators that I love to listen to. They're content creators that have a good idea about life, but there are also some that seem to be hateful, hatred spews out of their guts. And then I'm supposed to like it myself as being a content creator. No, I don't like it all. I like some of it. I like listening to people laugh at things once in a while, talk about things that made them smile and made them funny, rather than hearing how a person has been mistreated or abused growing up as a child, and they still have that trauma within them. But one thing for certain and two things for sure, no matter how it gets, we've got to remember we're all human beings. We're all of God's creation, and we're all of one accord. Now, grant you, there are things that have gone against us in our life, not just in my lifetime, but in the younger generation's lifetime. Certain drugs have been introduced to cause us to lose a lot of people. I heard him talk about the crack epidemic. Yes, that was real. It was real. But then what did they do out of that epidemic? They made movies like New Jack City. Well, hello, Vibrant Love, with that smile turned upside down, my dear. Thank you for dropping in. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. There were movies that came out during that era too. Like I said, New Jack City, a movie that glamorized, and I'm going to say it, glamorized drug dealings, drug dealers, and that crack epidemic. We as blacks, we watched the movie. I heard people cheer about it, but there's a deeper meaning behind every movie that's made with blacks in it, and what they say and do, and how they portray themselves in a movie. If you would go back to the 30s and 40s of motion picture with black people, we weren't treated as stars. We were treated as, they wanted to say with us, buffoons. We were always gay, laughing and joking. We were never serious about everything. There was an old TV show that used to come on called Amos and Andy. I don't know how many of you guys have ever watched Amos and Andy, but I watched it as a kid. Did I think about it then? No. But as I gotten older and I getting older, I thought about all these black shows that were on. What did they actually mean? Were they uplifting in spirit? Some of them, yes. Some of them, no. Just like that old movie, Sweet Sweetback song. It wasn't uplifting at all. Then we had what? The Mac, Superfly, uh, even with the women, we had Coffee, uh, Shaft. Yeah, action packed movies, but they also said to us that we were animals in a way. All we thought about was sex. We didn't think about building up our towns, our cities, because before then, they had burnt them all down. Do we remember Rosewood? Do we remember? And ooh, it just irks me when I think about the things that we've been done to as a black race. Do you remember Black Wall Street? They had that. Do you remember those cities that were bustling and thriving, even Harlem? But no, we forget. We have forgotten. This past Black History Month, I've listened on YouTube. There were some content creators that did stuff on Black History Month, but the younger people that I really wanted to talk about Black History Month, to go back and to come up and honor at least one black person in their era or in their life growing up, is never been done. It's always been about the older generation doing such marvelous and wonderful things. When we do have younger people out here doing marvelous and wonderful, wonderful things, we have kids that are 12, 13, 14 years old into music. One young man is a protege. He plays the violin at 14. Another young man has his own creative business to where he teaches math at 14. They want college wants him because he's a mathematician. These are the things that I would have loved to see for Black History Month. But once again, that's how things are being played out on here. Do we really say we love one another? A view is a view. Darlene, I wish I could be with you right now. You had scheduled something, I scheduled it at the same time, but I'm going to look at that. And if I'm able to get up there with you, because I'm not going to be on here long, because I know nobody wants to hear from an old geezer like us. But I just want to say what I've heard on YouTube these past 2 weeks is kind of put me in a downward spiral because everybody wants to be number one. Everybody's reaching for the top. And just remember the same people that you meet on the way up, you're going to meet on the way down. And that's the God honest truth, folks. I watched and I heard, and I'm going to say it, Lemon. I heard Lemon on his platform. I listened to him. I heard Miss T Velocity try to give Lemon some advice. You see what I'm saying? Her advice was straight and forward. Just be careful out there what you do and what you say on these YouTube streets because it can come back and bite you in the butt. And as far as the doxing goes, I would say that now it's 95% more people doing that crap because they think it's the hip thing to do. It's not. It's not hip, folks. Trust me. They're going to come after us one way or the other here on YouTube streets. They're going to come after us one way or the other, regardless if you sign a complaint or you make a complaint. Yeah, I can speak about healthcare also. That's another thing. We have to take care of our health. We have to go and see and talk to our doctors, talk to our psychs. Don't be ashamed to admit that you talk to a psychiatrist or a psychologist. There's nothing wrong with that. But we do have this stigma of keeping things secretive when your mental health is at stake. Mental health disease is worse than anything in the world, people. See, oh, okay, Vibrant. You say don't forget Amanda Gorman. She reads a poem. Yes, yes. Okay, at the inauguration. Okay, but the things that are really getting to me is that a week ago, and they had the young lady's funeral Saturday. She lost her life over foolishness, over jealousy, over just it was a waste. A young girl that was learning to be a pharmaceutical technician, black girl. And it's black crime on crime that goes on all the time, people. But there's more crime with the younger generation now than I've ever known. Okay, vibrant no issues of oppression, feminism, race. Okay. And see, all that's good. All that is so good. But how many people really listen to this woman? I mean, they listen. There are a lot of people out there, young people that I would hope listen to her because me as an older adult, I could listen to her, and I've been saying the same thing. When you oppress a race of people, no matter who they are or where they're from, when you put oppression on them, then there's no hope. And when I mean by that, no hope, that's how drugs get into the conversation. That's how alcohol comes up and everything else. We as black people have been, and I'll say it, since the early days of television and even radio, been mocked. We've had pimps, hookers, as we want to call them, streetwalkers. We had gangsters. We did have gangsters. We had thugs out there. But we all, and when I say the gangsters, yeah, they preyed on black folks, but they also preyed on the people that came into their neighborhood. You see what I'm saying? When you have people coming into your neighborhood, do you look at them and wonder why are they here? What are they doing? You can't do that technically because of the law. The law says anybody has a right to go anywhere. But on the same token, we still have towns in America that has never ever seen a black person living there or even been around to associate with blacks. And we have to be cognizant of that. Just like there are some blacks that have never seen or been around a white person. Well, that's hard to say that statement, but that's my thoughts on it. You see what I'm saying? Yes, sundown towns. They had a lot of those. There's a place over in Illinois, not too far from here, where I used to go at and deliver things. On ANNA meant ain't no the N word, and I will say it, ain't no niggas allowed. That's what it was. That's what it meant for that town. That's what it represented. There I I've learned that there were safe houses here, the Green Book, where people would have to read and learn where they could go stay overnight safe in these white towns where people offer them lodgings and stuff overnight so they wouldn't be out there on the road and Klansmen and racist ass people would come up to them and want to, you'll find them hanging in a tree or they're running them off the road at night and that kind of crazy mess. Yeah, that is real. That's for real. Uh, when it comes to racism, nobody really wants to talk about it because as generations have passed, things have changed. We have white men marrying black women, black men marrying white women, and vice versa. Their kids are growing up, mixed kids, and everything else. But there was a time that black and white people could not marry each other, especially if they caught a black man with a white woman. His punishment was more severe than that black woman being with a white man. So far as men are concerned, when it comes to blackness, we've always had the harder road to hoe. We always had to look at over our shoulders, as they say, to make sure that things are okay for us. And like I said, people, we sit up and we talk to each other so bad and so raunchy sometimes now. And I wonder, is it really because the climate in the world has changed, or is it that we're accepting the things that people want to offer us or give to us, even in the movies, even in our music, and even in our souls? I, I'm just not the type of guy that I want to take things with a grain of salt, but sometimes I have to try to pour some sugar on it. And then when you pour sugar on it, then you got to worry about diabetes. And that's another thing. Black folks do. We have a lot of illnesses within us, and we're starting to see it now. There's a lot of things that happened since we had COVID-19. People were sick, the elderly, most of the elderly died. And then when it started hitting younger kids, everybody wanted to do something about it. But what I'm saying is that no matter how it goes or what's being said in the world, I just want to say that as long as God's given me breath in my body, I'm going to fight for my rights. I'm going to fight for the things that I know are justified, even for some people. And if other people want to try to come at me from both ends of the spectrum, then I know what to do. I know what to do. Just keep on pushing, as that old song would say, because there are women out here are tired of men calling them bees and hoes, just as there are men out there being called pimps and hookers by women. We're tired of that. Some of us are really, really fed up. And then when you use that power that you're given, and you know the laws are going to change and they have been changed, when you use that power to go after someone and they still want to ostracize you, saying that you're a snitch or you're all that, I don't mind getting stitches. I've had my stitches before, but I had my stitches marching for these younger people now being able to get out and vote. I've had my stitches for the right for me to drink from that white man's water fountain. I had my stitches for being able to get an education. It might have not have been the greatest thing or the greatest thing in the world, but at least I got one. And I was proud of my family too, as a young black man. Proud that even though younger people want to say about the old folks' fault, the younger people's faults are just as bad. How do we change the way we do things? How do we change the thing? That's a good question, Miguel. And one thing I want to say about it is when you have a conversation with another black person, be it man or woman, that you respect their ideas, that you respect their thoughts. When you don't respect somebody's opinion, that's when things go downhill. We can sit up and have that good conversation without wanting to get up, go throw a fist, or meet somebody out there on the streets. And nine times out of 10, doing that kind of stuff only shows what those other races of people are saying about us as Black people. We can't come together. We cannot have a neighborhood to where it's beautiful, the fences are green and all that. Yeah, we got them. But look where those people are at. Rich, the rich don't think about the poor, but the poor think about being rich all the time. There are things that we can change if we just sit down and have a conversation without calling each other the B, the H's, because I was raised up as a child. A bitch is a dog. A bitch is a female dog. And let's face it, folks, you raise animals, you done seen, you got pets, you got a female dog. If your dog has a litter of puppies, that puppy will grow up to be a child. That's their child. But their own child would have relationships with their mother when they come of age. Do all Are all women supposed to be a bitch, a female dog that has kids and their kids grow up having their brothers and sisters and all that? No, no. And we're not monkeys with tails either, because during World War II over in Japan, they thought, well, Germany, during the German World War, they thought black folks, they wanted to see a black soldier to see if he actually had a tail. There's a lot of things in this world that we as black people need to come together on, and we can have the conversations without all the cussing and fussing. And we can try to change things on the outside too. There's an election coming up. I really wonder how many young people are actually going to get out and vote. Do they know what they're voting for? Do they know the changes of the laws that they're trying to put on us, even in our healthcare system? So that's what I wonder. Can we come together as one and have those flourishing towns like we used to have, to own banks, really, really own banks, really, really own a business, not these little fly by night businesses where you can go get you a quick loan and then you can go file bankruptcy and you do all this other crazy stuff people been doing. Can we do it together and have a place, a country where we don't mind helping people? We don't mind doing things, taking care of our elderly, even taking care of our children. There's a lot of black kids out there that need adoption. A lot of people don't realize that. I remember growing up, they used to talk about adoption all the time. Grant you, there were some adoptions that didn't go well. And I know there's some black women out there that have had problems in their lives. That's why I don't like, I'll argue with you to a moment's fault, but I'll also argue for you. Uh, yeah, it's a double-edged sword. Me being a man, how do I show what I am? I have feelings. I have moments to where I cry for people on here because they go through stuff that that I've been through, you know, to a certain degree. All this female bashing, and you men out there, you calling women bitches, you're doxing, you're talking about their kids. These are blacks. And think about it. YouTube goes all over the world. It doesn't just stop in the United States. And you know that. You know that in my case. YouTube does not stop in the United States. And if you check with your music stuff, guys that play music on here, they don't get copyright strikes as hard as they used to anymore, but they let you know that it's not being played in certain countries and all this stuff. That's the music. But when it comes down to us degrading one another and talking bullcrap to one another, that's when they let it go through. It goes through quite a bit. And the only thing I want to say is, hey, my thoughts are not your thoughts. My way of doing things are not your way of doing things. Solving a problem may not be the way you solve one. But if we would learn to really stop the violence and use the law to your degree, to your specifications, you don't have to talk about pulling up on anybody because that's what they're using now. When you're on YouTube talking about pulling up somebody, trust me, they're going to watch, they're going to listen, and that person can get hurt the next day. And all they got to do is say, well, they said it. And before you know, there's a knock, knock, knock at your door, asking you where you've been, what you're doing, how you on YouTube. So be careful, people. The whole world is a stage. We're acting on here, we're portraying on here, we're talking about things on here that some people don't want to hear, which they should be hearing. But there are also good things on YouTube. Like I said, I I'm so proud of Faith Yaya and her Strawberry Letters. I'm proud of Miss T Velocity because she doesn't really have that cuss you out spirit. She can tell you something and it would make you cringe and think, well, God, I've done wrong. I've done wrong. But I also listen to Lemon. And Lemon, as a young man, you're 30 something years old. Please, Lemon, quit. You don't have to be telling people to pull up on you because like I said, your generation of people, and even guys that might be 40 years old, I mean, 10 years older than you guys are pulling up on one another. They're killing the women. They're shooting in the homes with babies to prove what point? That they're a man. You don't have to be a man to shoot somebody, but you do have to be a coward not to face someone without wanting to harm them. To the ladies out here on the YouTube streets, I know there's some beautiful ladies out there. I wish you all the best. I wish you would take care of yourselves too. Be mindful that, like I said, I be on a lot of platforms. I listen and I hear you. Do I have to lie? No, I don't have to lie anymore because at my age, shit, a lie. Hell, I might forget the lie I told. That's for real. But when I tell you that I'm tired of us as a black people degrading one another, talking about one another here on YouTube, it'll be one of those things that I'll come back and let you guys know, hey, so and so's dead this week. Somebody did this to him. We don't want that to be the norm in a black man's or black woman's life. I want to see you guys prosper before I leave here. I want to see you guys have your own businesses, start out helping one another, being friendly toward one another, and even taking care of the ones that are mentally ill because we know mental illness is rampant. It is rampant. Take care of your vets, you know, take care of those people that serve you well. Visit or call somebody. Well, calling, that's another thing I hear on YouTube. I call this, I call that. There's a couple of people on YouTube that we're close together and we call each other, but I'm not gonna divulge all that bull crap because that only causes conflict. I don't do the Discord thing, and I'm definitely not doing the IG, even though I was told that I need to do those kind of things. No, no, because I'm not gonna get behind the scenes and watch you tear down a woman or a man and then come out here on YouTube and say it's all right. It's not all right. I'm not going to get behind the scenes so I can listen to you say doxing people and talking about their family members. It's not all right. Be open and above board and honest with one another in the open. Quit hiding in the shadows because it's going to come out anyway. And that's the truth of the matter. It's going to come out anyway. What's done in the dark shall come to the light. But when if that light has a cloud cast over it and you know it's not true, then you fight for it. You prove them wrong. You show them that you're wrong. And no matter what anybody says, your peace, your joy, your happiness is worth more than these little pennies of pennies that they're giving you guys out here on YouTube. Monetization is great. Hey, I don't mind it. But I shouldn't feel glad about tearing down somebody just to get that money. I shouldn't feel glad about talking about somebody's child when that child has a handicap. I shouldn't be glad about calling a woman a B or H if and I say this very strongly, we can't come to any reconciliation on about anything that we say or do. And then I'm always a no good black ass, as they say, man. You know, I ain't worth shit. Well, if I'm not worth shit, then so be it. You know, Another thing that I want to get off my mind and off my chest really is that entertainment is not entertainment when you dox. I don't like doxers. I never will. But one thing for certain and two things for sure, I'm not going to dox anybody. I'm not going to go into Facebook and look up your families or where you're from or what you've been doing or what you post on Facebook. I'm not going to do that just to make you sound or belittle you. I'm going to go toe to toe with you with the law because if you try to shame me or put me out there as this, call me that P word, that's slander, you know, and you can be hit with slander. There's also, I don't know, little things that I've learned in the last 4.5 months to where my ass could have got in trouble about it, but I chose not to do it. I wanted to, but when I saw what was going on, hey, I could have gotten in trouble for what I really, really wanted to do. But no, I'm not going to do that, people. I'm not going to. I'm not going to act that way. I'm just going to let the law take care of everything. But in the meantime, I'm going to come up here and try to talk to you guys about different things, your health, where you want to go in life, what do you want to do with your life. And like I said, I'm not going to use all these modern day things as putting people up here doing crazy stuff because the world is crazy. I'm trying to get away from crazy. With that being said, I'm going to get off of here. 47 minutes, close to an hour. A lot of you might have said, well, he ain't said shit. But when you get things off your chest, and sometimes it's good to get things off your chest, that way you will live a long, healthy, and prosperous life within your mind, your body, and your soul. So, with that being said, thank you again, Miguel. Thank you, Vibrant Law, for being up here and contributing. I didn't drop the link right now tonight because I don't feel like nobody's going to come up, to be honest with you. But like I said, like, subscribe, share. I'm not on my ask for cash apps either, but if you feel like it, you may. $ William Carruthers. Everybody knows. And please, please, folks, don't call my phone anymore. Don't call my phone. I know it's been out there, my phone number's out there, and it got out there through what they can say I did it, but somebody else let it be known. I will tell you about all that kind of stuff when I'm able to. But right now, I'm being told to shut up and be quiet about my case. Have fun. You can go have fun, but just be quiet about your case. With that being said, God bless you all tonight. You have a fun Sunday night. I'm gonna go run these streets. I might hop on a panel or two. I might not. I'll just listen, write down notes. Then I'll have questions. You guys stay with one another. Brianna, been listening to you, dear. Some things I agree with, some things I don't agree with. Chat rap. Mm-mm-mm. Chicago bound. Not really. Uh, Miss Olivia, I haven't heard from her in a while. YouTube cameras. Thank you, my dear. These are people that I listen to. You know, Nappy Child. Good evening. Good evening. Glad you're here. Glad you're here, dear. Thank you for the support. And to let you know, Uh, to other content creators, I listen to Slappy Slapster, Duchess Kelly Love, even James. But I do more than it's just his cleanups. I also do is listening to soap operas and stuff like that, movie recommendations. I stay in touch with a lot of people, but a lot of things I don't really want to come up there and do because there's a lot of bull crap going on. Tracy, with the T, you go ahead, hon. I listen to you, love you too. But like I'm just saying, life is it may not life is short enough. Life is short enough. But one thing for certain and two things for sure. With what life I got left, I'm gonna enjoy it and I'm gonna try to let people know how to enjoy, where to go for information to where you want to get that insurance policy to where you can go have your health checked out. Ladies, get your screening. Men, get your screening when it comes to health. There's nothing better than for me being able to get up in the morning, watching that sunrise, and going to bed at night watching that sunset. And in between, whatever happens in between, I think about it during the day. God love all you guys. God love you. Once again, Nappy Child, thank you for being here. Miguel, my moderator. Oh, it's one of those nights, y'all. It's one of those nights. It's Sunday night. Vibrant Lowell with that smile turned upside down. Crazy about you. Lady Nika, I haven't forgotten you. And even to the spaceship, Truth Enterprise, uh, King Roman News, the Misso, all you guys that have made my life interesting here on YouTube. Uh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I do care about people, and I do care that we're still hurting one another as Black people. Just read my book. Hurry up and get out there, dear. Dolby Milton, you guys make up some kind of way. Ronnie Q, like I said, I listen to a lot of people. I do. And you guys know it. You've made my life complete and fulfilled and given me reason to go on trying to fight for things that we take for granted every day. Because sooner or later, our freedom of speech is going to be gone. Be safe, you too. Be safe, Nappy Child. With that being said, prayers, hands up there. Love you guys. This is my first, just my thoughts. And like I said, I had fun today over there with Faith Yaya, and I hope I can get over to some other places and have fun. YouTube cameras, I will be there to see you. You're interesting. Mixology. I can't forget her either. Mixology. She's something else with that mustache. That's all right, dear. She told a story about that, and I had to laugh because what she said is true. That them straight razors will get you. Mhm. Uh, that's about it, folks. You guys have a wonderful Sunday night. I'm gonna go in here and get my little barbecue chicken wings. I made baked beans and a little small potato salad. That's my dinner for the night. And I will be back when I don't know, but I will be back when the spirit moves me, as they say. Peace out, y'all.